Okay guys, welcome back. This is a little bit of a different video for me, but in this video I'll be telling you what I have learned after wearing Vivobarefoot for 2 years. So I first came across Vivobarefoot when I was looking for shoes with a wider toe box. So as you can see with Vivobarefoot, their toe box follows the natural shape of the foot rather than squashing your toes at the end. So one of the reasons why I was looking for shoes with a wider toe box is because I used to get cramps in my feet and up my calves as a result of my toes being squashed together. And this was confirmed by my physio that I was seeing because I suffered from that problem for a long time. I didn't know what was causing that problem for many years until I eventually found out that it was actually my shoes causing that problem, because I used to wear a lot of modern shoes where the toe box narrows your feet, your toes at the end. And I have quite wide feet naturally. So if you also have the same problem, that might be a reason why. So I came across Vivobarefoot that way when I was looking for shoes with a wider toe box, and Vivobarefoot seemed to fit the bill. I can safely say that the Vivobarefoot shoes did solve a lot of my issues in regards to the cramps I was getting in my feet. And after wearing them for 2 years, they've given me many other benefits as well, which I'll go on to describing. So with Vivobarefoot, their shoes are supposed to replicate and simulate the sensation of walking barefoot. So you'll see on the shoe, it's flat-footed. There is no drop in the shoe, so you are very close to the ground when walking. And as mentioned before, the toe box is a lot wider. So the idea behind these is that our feet are naturally perfectly made to walk barefoot, and then over time with the invention of shoes, we've changed the way and the dynamics that we walk with our feet. And this is causing lots of problems in the modern day. Some of the problems similar to mine that I was experiencing with the cramps. Even the way we walk with the high heels can, cause lower back problems. So these shoes, guys, are supposed to replicate barefoot walking, but with the protection of the shoe. Okay, because as we know, walking around barefoot in everyday life now can be quite dangerous, especially if there's stuff on the roads. So this is where the Vivobarefoot come in. So there are two main things that I learned after wearing Vivobarefoot for 2 years, and that is, number one, that I became a lot more aware of what was under my feet. So the sensation of walking barefoot made me a lot more aware of what I was stepping on. Any bumps or ridges in the road, I was a lot more aware of, and it just made walking a lot more of an enjoyable experience, guys. I felt that I was much more connected to the ground, and then in doing so, I found that I was more aware of my surroundings at the same time, which is really weird to say. So when you think of normal shoes with a really thick sole and lots of cushioning, you don't get that feeling and that connection to the ground. But as soon as you put on the Vivobarefoot, you are aware of everything that you're walking on, and that can feel a bit weird when you first put them on, but over time, guys, that becomes a really enjoyable experience. So number two, which I think is actually the biggest impact that wearing Vivobarefoot for 2 years had, and that was that it increased my balance and my foot strength considerably. So I put this down to having the wider toe box and allowing my toes to spread out, which gives me a lot more of a stable surface when I'm trying to balance. So I can balance on one foot a lot better than I could before. And because your feet have to work harder in Vivobarefoot, because there is no cushioning and because it is flat-footed, over time what that does is gradually strengthen your foot. So I notice now, even when I take off my Vivobarefoot, I can walk for barefoot a lot longer, and it's a lot more of a comfortable experience. So I initially bought Vivobarefoot for the gym and for playing sports and doing HIIT classes, and it is perfect for that. And I've noticed that because I've did it for those activities, my foot strength has improved significantly, and now over time my balance is considerably better than what it was before. And it sort of goes hand in hand with my first point, is that you are a lot more aware of what you're standing on, which also helps with sort of cognition. And then the foot itself is a lot stronger, so it's a double a double whammy, guys, and two positives in one. However, there are some things to note, and that is, if you do buy Vivobarefoot, make sure that you ease into them, because if you buy them and go for a 10-mile run, I can promise you it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. And that is because for most people, all their lives, they have worn shoes with a lot of cushioning and a lot of sole. And when you put on the Vivobarefoot, it's going to be drastically different, and your feet will hurt if you do something intense straight away. So what I recommend is ease into it. I started wearing them just for about an hour a day at the gym, and then over time I built that up, and now I can wear them all day, guys, with no problems. A second thing to note, which is linked to my first, is that don't give up on them straight away. Your feet might ache a little bit when you first put them on, and it might not be as a comfortable experience as what you were hoping, but don't give up on them, guys. I can promise you, if you ride it out and when your feet become stronger, the benefits long term are considerable. So don't give up on them straight away. And it is currently winter here, guys, so one thing I have noticed, especially wearing Vivobarefoots in the winter, is that your feet can get a bit cold. So the first pair of Vivos I bought was a Primus Light 3s, and they are very well ventilated, guys. So if you are walking around in them in winter, make sure you wear some thick warm socks, because your feet can get cold. Because of the lack of drop as well in the sole and the lack of cushioning, the cold through the floor sometimes can get up to your get through into your feet. That is noticeable, but that's a very minor thing, guys, in the grand scheme of things. And as I said, the benefits far outweigh the negatives. So I hope that video has helped, guys. And that was my summary of wearing Vivobarefoots for 2 years. And that's what I learned, and overall, a very positive experience. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.